Welcome to Parent Night at Hawk Elementary for the 2013-2014 school year. I'd like to take a few minutes to share with you our story, What Matters Most at Hawk Elementary. The staff at Hawk is determined to create successful learners. As a staff, we have researched for 7 years best practices from top-performing schools across the United States and the world. Through all of our research, one thing we consistently agreed upon was that our purpose as educators is to ensure that the students we serve learn the most important content at each grade level and that we effectively engage them in this learning process. At Hawk, we expect all children to engage in the learning process so that ultimately they are the keepers of their knowledge. To this end, our research became focused on the most effective uses of assessment to support student learning. This is where the staff at Hawk Elementary started down the road less traveled. If children attend school to learn, then we embraced our challenge of ensuring that they not only learn, but are involved in the process, and that the expectations of what they learn is communicated clearly to the child and their parents. As educators, our responsibility goes beyond simply recording data about what they know and don't know, but rather to ensure that what they don't know is continually taught. Traditionally, school has been something that we do to children. At Hawk, the focus is on engaging the child in the process. Let's see what some of our Hawk Mavericks say about why they come to school and what their purpose is each day they are present. At the end of elementary and secondary school careers, students should graduate prepared to be successful in our global economy. In order for graduates to accomplish this in the 21st century, students must own their own learning process. They need to be engaged in setting learning goals and monitoring their own progress under the guidance of a professional educator. Through the learning process, they need ongoing feedback to support their continued growth. At the time of high school graduation, what matters most is how deeply a student has engaged in the learning process, how much rigor is involved, and how committed the student is to their continuous improvement. Let's watch a clip from a classroom in the 1950s.
Mother and Father went to the picnic. Alice and I went with Mother and Father to the picnic. Mother and Father had fun at the picnic. Alice and I had fun at the picnic. We all had fun at the picnic.
That's very good, Judy. Now, can anyone tell us what a picnic is? Harold.
A picnic is where you go out in the country and eat food off the dirt.
As we reflect upon the expectations of high school graduates at this time, it was quite different than the expectations for today. Will this classroom produce college and career-ready students as graduates in the spring of 2014? Will it produce problem solvers or students that are critical thinkers, those that are able to work together in collaborative groups? That is our goal. At Hawk, we believe our obligation is to be confident that parents and students are well informed about the expected learning outcomes for each child. It is the belief that has taken us further down our road less traveled. The graphic is a sample of a gradebook. In viewing this gradebook, it's hard to determine what the learning outcomes are for this particular course. As a parent using this tool, you can be informed about your child's work, what papers may be missing, and what their course average is. However, you have limited information about what they're learning and what specific skills need further practice. Through use of a standards-based report card, like this one created and used at Hawk, the child and the parent have specific information about the intended learning and how proficient a child is on each particular learning target. As we reflect upon the change that has happened in our grading practices, consider this following scenario. 3 students are taking a course in how to pack a parachute. Imagine that the class average is represented by the dotted line. Student number 1 initially scored very high, but his scores have dropped as the end of the course approaches. Student number 2's evaluations are erratic. Sometimes he does well, and sometimes he doesn't. The teacher has a hard time predicting from day to day how student number 2 will perform. Student number 3 had limited skills in packing a parachute when the course began. Through consistent instruction designed based on the child's current level of proficiency, student 3 makes regular and consistent progress throughout the course. When grades are determined in a traditional system, students 1 and 2 have passed the course, while student 3 failed. But consider, only student 3 demonstrated consistent and reliable success in packing his parachute by the end of the course. So the question is, who would you want packing your parachute? Our purpose is to use assessment appropriately to engage students in the learning process and thereby increase their overall levels of achievement. As we work with children at the elementary level, we're well aware of the things we need to do to prepare them for their middle and high school careers. Our mission at Hawk is to create successful learners. Let's listen for a moment to a former Hawk Maverick who has used the skills she learned at Hawk as she's transitioned to middle school.
Can you tell me how you learned through your experiences in elementary school to take ownership of your own learning?
When I was in 5th grade, my teacher would give me pre-assessments at the very beginning of whatever we were learning, and that helped me to see what I know, what I sort of know, and what I don't know at all. And then that really helped me to say, okay, I need to work harder on this, and this I can kind of set aside for now. Then, as we went along learning about it, she would give me feedback on how I was doing, and so she would say, instead of doing it this way, try this, do this, you're getting there, and that really helped me to learn better.
How have these experiences influenced your decision to take responsibility for your learning as you transitioned to middle school?
In middle school, whenever you get an assignment done, the grade that the teachers put on it is pretty much set in stone. So whenever I don't understand something, I usually just go and ask the teacher and say, can you give me feedback or clarification on this? And then they'll give me information on what I need to do right, what I did wrong. And that really helps me because what's important to me is that I understand what we're learning.
We believe to create students that are college and career ready, we must move our children away from their need to simply please the adults and receive external rewards, but rather embed in them the desire to work hard to accomplish their goals. Keeping in mind again that our children transition from elementary to middle and high school, we visited classrooms at Geyer High School. The next example you will see is from a high school class, And what was evident in our visit to this classroom is that the expectation for learning remained the same at the high school level that they are here at Hawk. You can see they're provided learning targets, they have their assessment expectations outlined from the beginning, and the boys and girls are provided an assessment rubric so that they're informed from the beginning about how they'll be assessed. Let's take a few moments just to watch this high school classroom. In this example, the teacher is facilitating high levels of conversation in collaborative groups, and the students were expected to share out a presentation of an infomercial about the research that they're conducting in their teams. This was very similar to a lesson you would see at in one of our classrooms here at Hawk. I'd like to close with a quote by Stephen Covey. To begin with the end in mind means to start with a clear understanding of your destination. It means to know where you are going, so you better understand where you are now, and so that the steps you take are always in the right direction. At Hawk Elementary, we begin each day with the end in mind.